As you may know, AT&T is trying to buy Time Warner for the tidy little sum of $85 billion. That's not news. We've talked about that before when the news broke of that at least attempted sale. The news is that the Justice Department has now sued to block that purchase. And this could be one of the biggest antitrust cases in decades. And it's particularly newsworthy because usually antitrust cases are attempts to stop mergers of two of the same type of company, two media companies, for example. And in this case, the AT&T Time Warner purchase or merger is a telecommunications company trying to buy a media and entertainment company and trying to block those types of mergers or acquisitions. I guess to say is it's less common territory for courts. And it's really putting some progressives and also Democratic elected officials in an interesting place because, generally speaking, the left wants to prevent unfair and sort of obscene accumulations of market power through these mega mergers. Progressives want antitrust legislation enforced as needed, as would be as designed, I guess is the term I'm looking for. And the issue, of course, is that CNN is owned by Time Warner, and all of this is happening after the Trump Jeff Sessions Justice Department has been very critical of CNN. And you have to wonder, could this be part of an attempt to merely hurt CNN, which we know President Trump doesn't like, right? Is this lawsuit to try to stop this merger acquisition an act of political retribution against CNN? And we may find out, because AT&T says that it's going to take the lawsuit as an opportunity, take the court process as an opportunity to try and discover and reveal communications that may have taken place between the White House and antitrust officials, and that it could potentially uncover political motivation. Now, if they're smart, they wouldn't have email records of the Trump White House saying, hey, let's try to screw with CNN. But we know that the Trump administration has a pretty extensive track record of putting really sketchy stuff into email. The entire Russian lawyer situation comes to mind. So if political motivation over this lawsuit were uncovered, the argument would be that Donald Trump is effectively abusing his power as president to make a political attack against the private sector, which is not something that conservatives usually are on board with. AT&T's general counsel, their attorney, made a comment that I read, and I really felt very conflicted about it. David McAtee II, who's AT&T's general counsel, said, today's Department of Justice lawsuit is a radical and inexplicable departure from decades of antitrust precedent. Vertical mergers like this one are routinely approved because they benefit consumers without removing any competitor from the market. We see no legitimate reason for our merger to be treated differently. Let's keep that on the screen for a moment and analyze a couple of the individual sentences. It's true that this lawsuit is a departure from precedent. These mergers typically are approved. It's completely accurate when David McAtee II says that these are routinely approved mergers. It's not clear at all, though, that they benefit consumers the way he argues. And in principle, it would be great to clamp down on these mega mergers because they aren't good for consumers. But if the reason is a political one, that Trump wants to hurt CNN, then as progressives, do we have to be against it because it's a form of government corruption? Or do we need to be for it because it is a mechanism through which we are supposed to prevent this obscene and massive accumulation of market power? The mergers allow companies like AT&T and Time Warner to raise prices, to suppress competition. It's really bad. It's something we've been talking about for years. But at the same time, a personal vendetta by Donald Trump can't be allowed to serve as the sort of catalyst for blocking the merger, since we know that Republican administrations and right-leaning justice departments like the one we have right now are usually pretty friendly to these types of mergers, and the White House can't be playing favorites. Kind of a complex situation for progressives. Which side should we be on? Send me your thoughts. I'm on Twitter, reach me, email, however. The video you just finished watching was made possible by you through the membership program. You can sign up for membership at davidpakman.com/membership. We are viewer-supported independent media. You can use the coupon code IVoted17 for a 40% discount off of your membership.